You are listening to Charlie's Truth audio blog, Entry 10. Blessings, 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 blessings. Hello, friends. Hello, family. Hello, world. I pray that as you're tuning in that you are well. I am sending you a virtual hug, letting you know I am thinking about you. I am sending love your way. Yes, feel this hug, okay? Feel this hug. It is good to be in your company, okay? So, welcome to another entry. Y'all, we really on this 30-day journey. We are blogging every day for 30 days and we are on day 10. So, I am very grateful to be here. I'm very grateful for this experience. And I was like, before I came on, I'm just like, what are we even going to talk about? And so, interestingly enough, yesterday after I finished recording the entry, I was like, OMG, I didn't tell you all how things went with my goal for this past weekend, which was to get my membership site website up, like to at least do the foundational portion of it. And so that's what we're going to do today. So today I want to do a little story time, and I also want to share with you all the update on the site. Okay, so where should I start? I'm kind of excited to share this because I kind of feel like if I do this once and I don't know how in depth I'm gonna go, then it'll always be out there, and I can always like refer back to it and all the things. So for those who are not aware, I am the coach and founder of a company called Light to Lead. So, Light to Lead is all about remembering your truth, right? It is grounded in remembering your truth. I am a coach over there, an energy channeler. It is my business, my baby. And it was born 2 years ago. So, uh, prior to Light to Lead, I put everything under Charlie's Truth. That was just my brand, that was my thing. And then I'm not really sure exactly what happened, but I kind of felt like I wanted my business to have a life of its own and a world of its own. And Charlie's Truth is always going to be a thing because that's just my thing. But Light to Lead is like really about us. You know what I mean? Charlie's Truth just felt way too personal, way too about me. And Light to Lead is all about us. It's about us remembering the truth of who we are and allowing our energy, our inner guidance to light the way for us to pave our path, right? For us to develop a life that feels aligned for us. And what I think is so beautiful about naming a business, especially when it comes with a spiritual lens, is that it takes on a journey of its own, right? You name it one thing for one reason, and then it turns into this whole thing. And I feel like Light to Lead is so much more than um it really is about awakening. It really is just about awakening, and it's about you awakening and creating that space and creating the clarity so that you can be on your path. And by being on your path, like you become an example of what is possible for others, right? Like everybody idea of leadership is different, and I've definitely learned on this journey that part of me being a leader is me really living by example, right? Um I say right often. I like it right, right? Like, do you understand? When I say right, I'm like, art. Do you understand? But part of it is about you living in your truth, right? And by you living in your truth, by you embracing who you are, people get to see that as an example of what is possible for them. I truly do believe each of us is a representation of what's possible. We all get to be an example of what it means to be human, what life could look like for us, what we could build. And, everybody's journey is just uniquely theirs. And just because someone does something similar to you or they live a life that you are inspired by, you know, get inspired. Allow yourself to try something new, try something different. And I feel like all of us is just an example of like what is possible. I don't believe anybody's life is right or wrong. is probably different, and in that difference there is opportunity for us to be inspired, for us to be reminded of what is possible, for us to be reminded of like our own journey and our own humanity. And so a lot of layered things there. So like I was saying, so in 2022, I feel like I think it's 2022. So, anywho, in 2022, Light to Lead officially launched. I believe it was like in June. If it wasn't 2022, it's 2021. A lot has happened over the years, friends. So, as I was saying, Light to Lead was built. So, what's interesting is that I've always had the same goal in mind. I've always saw for myself this vision of helping people come back home to themselves, helping people heal and process through their trauma. Before I went to social work school, I was hosting workshops about the ego. And it was all about managing your ego, recognizing that your ego is not you. And during one of those sessions, I remember someone coming up to me and talking to me about their sexual assault. And I realized that I wanted more tools. I have already been doing a lot of self studying, but I wanted more tools. And since being a therapist was something I always wanted to do, that was partially why I was like, when Spirit told me I was going back to school, I was like, but okay, but okay. And I knew that like I had a feeling I wasn't gonna go and get licensed only because I feel like it's nothing to pass a test. But I knew that I did not want to work in a traditional setting. Like I really just want to build something of my own, because when I was practicing law and I noticed so many questionable things happen within the legal field in the courtroom, I started to realize that I was focused, in my opinion, on the wrong thing. Growing up, I used to often hear, to fix the problem, you got to get inside the system. And so I got inside the system and recognized really quickly what was happening and realized like, actually, I don't even need to be focusing on a system, and I don't need to focus on y'all. What I want to do and what I need to do is focus on the people. And so for me, that means coming out of those systems, coming out of all that conditioning, coming out of the ideas and the structure of how things have to be, recognizing that a lot of nonprofits, they start out with great intentions, but once money is involved, a lot of conditions come with that, and sometimes they lose their purpose, right? Sometimes they lose operating in their values, operating in their pillars. And for me, I felt like I want to focus on the people, and I want to focus on them in a way that is true to me, right? That aligns with my values and also honors the fact that we are human beings, and flexibility is necessary. And when we have a whole bunch of rules and regulations and policies that aren't changeable, or that take years or months or whatever to change, when people need that support right now, that's just not going to work for me. And I understand the purpose of a structure and a purpose of policies and a purpose of procedures. That's why I'm leaving that to them, right? To do that their way. And I will figure out what it is I believe that we can build as a society. And I will be an example of that. That's kind of how I see my big picture. And so I'm on this journey. And so Light to Lead is really like all about embracing and living your truth, remembering, embracing, and living your truth. And it's about being unapologetic, being radical and your self-acceptance, being radical in acceptance of what is, and being okay with people not understanding or people questioning how you're moving in life, because you have your own purpose. And even if none of us understand it, it doesn't change that you have purpose. It doesn't change what your purpose is, regardless of who understands it or who doesn't. And so what I like to do is just encourage people. If that's your truth, babe, that's your truth. Let's go. And so that's really like the foundation of like Light to Lead. And you can definitely see more about it on my website. But the whole purpose is really about the remembrance journey, remembering our truth, remembering our soul, remembering the essence of who we are, recognizing that we are all conditioned. We are all conditioned in some capacity or another, and remembering that and working with that. And so I have so many tools and techniques that really help with that, because when I started out on my journey, a lot of it was just self-awareness. It started with self-awareness, and it was like a lot of mindset work. Then I recognized I always used to feel like my brain was a computer, and so I was like, it's so easy for me to convince myself of anything. I could just program it within myself. Now this is way before I even knew about like mindset work and mindset shifts and doing the things I needed to do in order to build immunity in the mind. And so, it's so interesting sometimes when I look back, because I'm like, these I have always said these things. I have always said these things. Just my understanding of it has expanded over the years, have gotten deeper, have taken me deeper, have guided me in places and ways and into experiences and a lifestyle that what? Like earlier today, I literally just wanted to cry because I was just so in awe with how kind the world is to me, how beautiful life is, how easier life has gotten now that I just learned to let go. I learned to stop trying to control everything. And I just can't believe how much peace is here, that we have all these things available to us, and all it takes is this awareness and then choice. And so there's just so much that I'm just so grateful for, and I pray that so many people have a similar experience, whatever is meant for their souls, but that they connect back to their freedom, that they remember that they are free now, and it's a matter of choosing it. And that we all get to define what freedom looks like and feels like. And we also get to define what liberation is, and what success is. And we get to define these things for ourselves, and we get to feel into them and discover them and experience them in our own way, even at our own time. And so I'm just so excited for us as a collective, because I know what's possible. I know what I used to experience. I know how I used to see this world, and to be where I am today, to have the lens that I have today. They say that you don't see things as they are, you see it as you are. And I can feel that. I can see that. I can understand that. It's just so interesting to witness, and it also changes how you interact with the world and how you interact with others, because you recognize that we're really all in this together. And so I am always like hyped up about the people. And so with that being said, so I got my coaching certificate when I was in law school. So when I was in law school, I always knew I wanted to help people, and I wanted to be a life coach, and I wanted to be a speaker and an encourager. These are things I always knew, because people would just naturally come up to me, ask me for advice. It didn't matter what age they were. I often had older people when I was like in my 20s, they would be like in their 40s or 50s, and they just really respected my wisdom, and they always reached out to me and checked in on me and asked me questions. And I just had so many people around me encouraging me, um that I just knew some shit, okay? That I was really wise, and that I had a gift. And I felt it too, and spirit also told me too, like, everything you're going through is not about you. It's bigger than you. Like, I was told this at 15 years old. So I always knew that there was a bigger purpose on my life. And not necessarily a bigger purpose, but it was my life wasn't just about me, because I was pretty independent at a young age, and I took on a lot of responsibility. I felt like I had to protect myself. I had to take care of myself. And so for a big chunk of my life, it was all about me. And there was times where I would tell God, like, I do not want to be responsible for other people. Like, I could feel the leadership in me, and I was just like, I do not want to be responsible for other people. I'm exhausted. I'm already exhausted. I'm only 20. How am I this exhausted from life? Like, I don't want to help nobody. I don't, right? And I had a lot to learn, and I've gotten to a place now, of course, where I am a caretaker. I am nurturing. I am love filled. I want everyone around me to feel good, to be happy. When people joy is interrupted, I'm always looking for a solution. That is just what I do. And it's so interesting that I found out that my motivation in human design is guilt. this need to fix things, this need to do something about it, not wait for someone else to do it, but for me to step up and be like, I got this. I'm gonna make something happen. I see a solution. And also, like, my conscious son is in gate 31, which is all about leadership. So it's like a natural leader. And so it's like all these things that I came across later in life really just affirmed what I already knew and what I already felt. And thankfully, I was already at a place of acceptance by the time I found these tools, right? Like human design and astrology, like getting deeper into astrology. And even when my chart would tell me, give me information, there's parts of me that just started awakening. Like me wanting to cook and be excited about cooking. I realized that like 2 years ago, but the end of last year, the end of 2023 is when I decided to commit to really learning how to cook and every week picking a recipe and cooking. And I've been doing that for months and I've just been having the time of my life. And so I too am discovering aspects of myself that had laid dormant or that I had suppressed because I was in survival mode. And so there's still parts of me waking up that's exciting. And it also just motivates me more to encourage people around me, encourage people that things can be different. Your experience can be different. Where you're heading in life can be different. Like you will be surprised. And the first thing sometimes is just to take a deep breath. Ground yourself in your body. Ground yourself in this moment. I know you got worries. I know you got stress. And I know you got things that you feel like you need to worry about. But ground yourself in this moment. And let's see how clarity shows up for you. That was a bit of a tangent. But anywho, so Light to Lead is like really that space where I'm guiding that work. I'm guiding people on their personalized journeys, right? Like though I have a lot of tools and techniques, I don't go into any session with this idea of this is the process. Cuz you may need meditation may work for you. Affirmations may work for you. You telling me a story may work for you. Me just being a listener may work for you. So, everybody, what we all need is different. And what I've learned is to try different tools and techniques, to trust my intuition, to guide me, to guide you back to your inner God. And once you're connected back with your inner God, boom, you got the light to lead, baby. You woke. Now it's your turn to go out there and do the thing. And we just keep doing that. And we all just keep doing it, right? And that may look different for everybody, right? Because for me, it's a guide, coach, energy channeler. For someone else, they may be a photographer doing it. Who knows? A writer, a therapist, a doctor. You could be in any field doing whatever it is that you are here to do in order to support the collective, in order to encourage others, in order to be an example for others, because any of us can water a seed in someone. Any of us can awaken something in someone for them to go out and just blossom or evolve into whatever version of them that this season is calling them into, but the version of them that's really going to help them elevate and connect to their liberation and their freedom and the truth of who they are, right? It doesn't have to be some grand thing. It doesn't have to be us with a label. It can simply be us existing in whatever capacity we're existing and being able to still support people from there and be a part of their story, be a part of their evolution, be a part of their remembrance. And so Light to Lead is really here to encourage that and to support that. And so as I was building Light to Lead, when I tell y'all I done work with coaches, I've taken different classes, I've brought different services in order to like use my human design, to use my astrology chart, to just to provide guidance on like what will work for me, what I should try out. And so I've done different things, and a lot of times, especially when it came to like business coaches, I realized that I would just first of all, a lot of people were just focused on, you need to post on social media. You need to post on social media. And for a while, like at the beginning, I mean like 2017, because that's when I officially decided like I want to be a life coach, right? And then Spirit was like, your guide. And I've also been told like I'm a medicine woman and things like that. Like, So I know that I'm exactly where I'm called to be. I am a spiritual advisor, spiritual mentor. Like I'm exactly where I'm called to be. And so, and I've always been an energy channeler. I've always interpreted energy. And so like I lately, or probably within the last 3 years, I've been really loud about, nope, I'm definitely an energy channeler. Like there's no if or buts about it. And I'm very confident in that. So it is what it is. And so as I was taking other people's advice and trying to implement it, I would just burn out. Like nothing just felt sustainable for me. And I started to realize too, like I really wasn't into social media. I'm not really into the idea of making up stories and like pretending and look, I want to be direct, right? Like if I have services, I want to tell you about my services, right? I want to tell you what I'm doing. I want to share with you all the things. And not to say that I couldn't do that on social media, but what I realized that I had become so conditioned on what social media was for and why I had to do it and how I had to do it and the algorithm and all that stuff that I feel like it started to I don't I just wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't into it. And it also just felt like it felt too open for me. Like I felt like on social media too many people had access to me and it just did not feel good. Specifically on Instagram. I have deleted and started Instagram so many times over the years, even before 2017. I would start, like there's just something about Instagram and certain social medias that just feels like too much for me. It feels like a task I don't want to do and I have to force myself to do it and it just doesn't feel good. And so I decided to stop. And at some point too, I just decided I'm just getting off of social media. I'm going to build my business because I'm not letting up on that, but like I'm not going to do it on Instagram because it's just not worth me. It just wasn't worth me investing energy. And it just doesn't feel good. And so I made that choice and I think it's been about 2 years. I have a video on YouTube about it because I did talk about it because I was like, I want to know what happens. How like what would that look like? How do you grow a business without Instagram? In this day and age. And so I still took a hiatus and was like figuring out, so what is next for Light to Lead? How do I want to promote Light to Lead? What will this look like? And at the same time, I'm a projector in human design. So I was really focused on getting back to my studies. So I was like studying human design, experimenting with human design, and doing my thing in the process and doing my inner work, because there's levels to this. And I want to say about, I don't know if it was like 4 years ago, maybe, I had already felt like, so one, right, social media just isn't for me. And no matter how many times I tried, took a step back, tried, took a step back, tried, took a step back, I finally got to a place, like I said, where I was just like, all right, I'm done with this. Like, it's just not, I'm not feeling it. Something about it just doesn't connect with me and just no. But I had always known that I wanted a space, a place on the internet where it was just my cozy corner. I knew that I just wanted a place where I can hang out with and work with and share with people who wanted to work with me, who already knew that they wanted to work with me. And so I have thought of different things. So I tried one membership called Her Truth, but I felt like maybe I wasn't confident enough or maybe I wasn't like committed enough because I wasn't really promoting it like that. Or maybe I was and it just wasn't hitting. And then I tried The Sacred Cave. I did that one on Mighty Networks. Oh yes. And so but still, right, it just wasn't it didn't feel ready. But I always knew that I wanted to create a section, I wanted to take up space in the corner of some part of the internet and just build my own world, build my own community, build my own neighborhood that was just me and my people, and I wasn't just yelling out to everybody and everyone didn't have access to me. That was the thing. I just feel like there's something about everyone having access to me that shouldn't. I don't know why, but I feel it so deeply within me that I'm just meant to be exclusive. I'm meant to hang out somewhere put up a sign, and the people that want to connect with me, that want to work with me, that want to be a part of my energy will just meet me there. They will come there. Some way, somehow, we will find each other. And so, like I said, I've tried it different times. I wasn't fully aware of like what this would look like. I just knew I needed a corner of the web where not everyone had access to me. And that's what I wanted to build and develop. But I still have work to do within, because I feel like now my confidence is like wow, like I have divine confidence now. And that only happened probably within the last 8 months or maybe a year, that's really been developing in a way that I'm really, really unapologetic. Like where I'm just like, no, this is what it is. I- I'm grounded in this truth, and no one is gonna try to shame me or talk me out of it. It's not happening, right? I am like, this is my truth. And so, like I said, I've tried different ways. I remember Her Truth and I remember The Sacred Cave. Those were the two I tried out. I don't feel like I really promoted them much, but they were my attempts to create this community, create this world, create this space that I knew I always wanted. However, a lot has happened within the last year, a lot has happened within the last 6 months. And now the idea has come back up for me to create this space. And that's what I'm building on my website now. Like I'm being guided to build it on my website. Like that's where your membership will live. And it's so interesting because I ended up upgrading my plan on Squarespace before I even knew I was building a membership. And it just so happened that because of the plan I have on Squarespace, I can just start a membership without an additional cost. And so it was just like, wow, things really do unfold the way they're meant to. And so I'm also in the space where I'm more aware of when an idea is actually ready to be manifested or ready to be worked on or ready to be worked towards. Like I can feel the energy, the pulsating of it all. Like I can feel the heartbeat of the thing. As opposed to like knowing I have this idea, but it's not yet ready for the people. But it's going to happen. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm building the membership on my website, and it will be my cozy corner of the web where I will work from. It's where I will do all my lives, my teachings. I will be sharing resources that I create. It basically will be the way that most people can work with me. So if people want to work with me, they will have to be a part of my membership for some of the services. Like, yes, you can still get human design readings. Yes, you can still get one-on-one coaching. But as far as like me sharing everything online or just in these open spaces, that's not happening anymore. I'm going to be very focused on building the membership, nurturing the members of the membership. The way it works is that you will only pay a flat fee to get in, and it's a lifetime access. And that is where like PDFs will be. I have like study sessions. There's going to be workshops. There's going to be webinars. I'm very big, like I mentioned earlier, about being flexible, being able to change with times. And so we're going to have an area where people can give constant feedback, like it's going to be ongoing feedback that the members can provide, so that I can know like what's going on, like what they want more of, what is actually beneficial to them. Because we're all going to be in different places in our journey. No one's uh, no one's further or behind. The whole point is just that we're at different places, and somebody can feel advanced in one area but not in another. And so it's like, it's really going to be a space that really honors the wholeness of our being, honors our evolution, right? As far as I'm aware of it, because I can only share what I'm aware of, and so it's going to be something that grows with all the members. And I'm just so excited for it, because this is what I didn't know what I was fully imagining, because this isn't what I was creating before when I was putting those memberships together. This is it. This is my baby. Like this is what I've always wanted and did not know what it was going to look like, what it was going to feel, but this is it. Like I am so committed to this. This is officially my baby. So that means that I will be nurturing this. I will be doing the work. I will be making adjustments. I will be taking feedback. I will be reflecting, right? So that I can grow this into a community that I really believe reflects what I believe to be the truth, right? Of our evolution and our differences, and at the same time, our interconnectedness. And so there's going to be so much, there's exclusive opportunities in here, right there. Like I said, there's some things that's still available to the general public, which is like whatever offerings is on Light to Lead main page. But in the membership, there's really gonna be a different world in there. It's gonna be a whole world in there that we haven't seen me do outside with the general public. But I also will be now sharing more intentionally and sharing specifically so that people can see what's happening in the membership, because that is going to be the main way that people can work with me, is through the membership. And the membership will have events and things like that, that is still, you still got to pay a fee for, but it's going to be, there's just going to be something that's only available to members. Like, people outside of the membership just cannot get in. And like resources and stuff like that will always be available, for the most part, free of charge. And again, right, I'm still building this. Again, a lot of things can change, as I'm creating and all of that. But the reality is, like, this is probably what I was imagining when I initially had the idea, like, I need my own corner of the web. I just want my own corner of the web. And this is it. We'll be doing meditations. There will be some live meditations. I'm really going to be in my bag in this place. And I feel like it's my own idea of safety. Of just being in a safe space, being in a space that we all gonna know why we're here. We're all gonna know why we're here. And so, starting out, when the membership first opened, there's gonna be a lower fee for the first 3 months, and then it will rise up to reflect more of the value of the membership. Because, like I said, I'm going to constantly be making resources and PDFs, and as the members are telling me things, I'll be creating more and more. I already have resources to share there. I'm going to be creating resources, so that will be available when the membership opens up. It is in the calendar to open up in July, which is basically next month, like towards my birthday, close to Leo season. And I'm just so excited for it. I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And like I said, I got the foundation of the website up, well developed, copies there, everything's there. And so, like, the next steps is creating the content that I want to be available, and also like filling out the pages more. There's like more I need to do informational wise for the other pages that need to be linked out from the foundational navigation pages. And so I am super stoked. I'm so excited. And I was like, yesterday I was just like, oh, we didn't tell them about the membership, like how things went this weekend. And then as I was preparing for this, I was like, let's just tell them like what's going on, like let's just tell the people what you're working on, what you're building, so you all can journey with me through this. I'm going to, well, as you can see, when I'm on the audio blog, I will be talking about things from a different entry, right? Like, I will be building up on it. But I guess that's the whole point of it being an audio blog, right? Kind of like a vlog, but audio. And in vlogs, you kind of share your story, whatever it is, your perspective on your life, whatever aspects you are open to sharing. And so I feel like my audio blog is basically that without me doing a video. So here we are. So yes, the membership is coming along. I'm so excited. I have told y'all why I'm creating it. It's really about, I just have this desire that is loud within me, just like I am not meant to do and create a business the way that most people are teaching, most people are guiding, and most people are talking about, and that I just have to trust my inner guidance to create it. And now that I'm confident, and even more confident, and I'm trusting myself, and I'm hearing myself loud and clear, and I'm following through, everything in my life has just been smooth sailing. It's been such a beautiful, beautiful and soft journey. And that's what we're going to focus on inside the membership, is like getting back to all of us just trusting our inner voice and allowing it to guide us, right? And wherever people are as far as their mindset work, for us to do the work it takes to reprogram our minds, to release the conditioning, to understand the conditioning, to take responsibility for conditioning. And so, y'all, I'm so excited. I am looking forward to telling you more about it, to telling you how it goes, to telling you or sharing my plan as far as promotions go, right? Because I still got that going on. I have a couple of ideas of like how I'm gonna do promotion. I've been saying for like months that I'm going back on Instagram, and I have yet to make it. So I don't even know how that's gonna go. I don't know if I'm going on Instagram because I think I should or because I actually want to. And so I'm gonna see if the energy is actually there for that. And if not, like, I'm just gonna trust whatever my inner guidance says. I'm definitely looking forward to doing some workshops. I already have an idea for a human design workshop, so that is likely, listen, I would love for it to be next month. That way not only do I get to share something, but I also get to record, right? And have some content regarding human design. And so, oh yes, actually yes. I have a fun idea for a human design workshop. So I will be sharing that soon. I already started building it out a little bit as far as like my idea and my details. I try to, like, when an idea come to me, I try to write down as much detail as possible to so I can come back to later. And so I definitely have already thought about a workshop to start with, at least for human design. And yeah, and so that will be out soon. But for now, we're just focused. I'm focused on getting this membership page up and running on my website, promoting it, and just, I'm so excited. Like, I am so excited. I'm going to do a video for it, sharing with everyone just like why I decided to create this membership. And it's really what I just told you all here. Like, it's just something deep in my soul telling me that this is the way. And it's so interesting because Aquarius is in my 10th house. And so using the internet in this way is fucking wild, crazy, and exciting. And also, like, I don't have a huge following and I'm doing this, And so I'm going to share all of that because I don't know where, as people are listening, I have no idea where you are in your journey. And maybe you too have like an idea that you're like, no one else does it this way. And my way, my process and my results may encourage you. I don't know, but I'm going to share it because one of the things I do want to be is transparent. So I don't have a huge following. Even on Instagram, I'm logged out of my personal page. And even my personal page used to be my business page, that's my personal page. And it just goes back and forth. But I logged out of it. And so I'm really, when I do go back to Instagram, I will be starting on the Light to Lead page. And so it's really about starting from scratch. But I'm committed to the membership, and I'm committed to Light to Lead, and I'm committed to myself, and I'm committed to the collective, and I'm committed to my purpose. I'm committed to source, and my purpose here and our work together. And so I'm not rushing. I'm going to take my time with this, and it's going to happen, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be exciting. And like, all the correct people that are meant to journey along with us will be there. And whether you stop in for a year and leave for 2, we will be there when you get back, baby, because like, that's what family's for. Like, we are going to be a community, a village. Like, that's going to be our home. And I'm just so excited. And, earlier I mentioned something about safety, right? Like, I feel like the sense of comfort and safety and building this. And what's interesting is that in human design, when it comes to environments, right, where you thrive at, where you can be relaxing your best self, like, my environment is cave. And that's all about like safety and being able to control, who and what is around you. And so, look at me. Look at me. Basically, even before I knew that I had a cave environment, I always had this desire for this kind of space because that is where I thrive. I'm just putting that together right now, but yes, it makes sense that this is the kind of space I want because that is where I thrive. That is where I'm meant to thrive. Yes, people can come and go, but I need to be able to feel safe, okay, in that space. And so I think it's just something so beautiful, and I'm so excited. And as I'm talking to you all, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is really it. It makes so much sense. And so let me read to y'all about environment, okay? I just pulled it up. Okay, so in human design, environment is where you feel most happy, complete, and your body works and interacts in an optimal way with its surrounding. So in human design, my environment is blending caves. And so what this means is you may feel uncomfortable in rooms having more than one exit, and you prefer an enclosed space with just one door. Okay, let's remember, y'all. Instagram, I felt like I was too available. People can just come and go whenever they felt like. It's just too much activity. Um and so this says, right, you may feel uncomfortable in rooms having more than one exit, and you prefer an enclosed space with just one door. When you go to a public place like a cafe, you usually sit in a place where you can see the exit. In the early days of our journey as a species, humans used to live in caves to survive and protect themselves from predators. In an environment as protected as possible, fenced off from the outside world, okay? Not us going behind a paid wall, okay? Talk about it. The modern analogy is a room in an apartment or a workplace with one entrance, or a fenced off area with a narrow entrance that can be controlled. A perfect analogy of a cave is a car. Although there are four doors, they are all under control. You can lock them from the inside. The space is limited. The seat hugs you and supports you from behind. All right, they start talking about children. Okay. Because a sense of security from the back is important to you, in moments of internal discomfort, you need hugs from behind, including during sleep. In addition to creating a sense of security, your environment should stimulate development. So you like to surround yourself with various sources of information and have your workplace in a way so you can occasionally look out the window. You should feel safe in the cave environment, but at the same time, it should encourage exploration and experimentation. Hence the name blending. You are slightly more open about who is allowed into your environment. Okay? But people can't just be coming and going. You we need boundaries, okay? And so that is what the membership is. It is the boundary I need. I am creating the environment I thrive in. That I know I would do well at. That literally my soul is saying, babe, this ain't it. We don't want to be. We don't want to. We ain't got nothing to do with that. We don't need to be out in the open. We don't need to do business the way everyone else is doing it, or the way people are saying it needs to be done. And so I feel like for all these years, right, since at least since 2017, I have tried everyone else's method. I've tried what everyone else had to say, and now it's time to give myself a chance. It's time to give my inner God a chance. It's time to give my inner voice a chance, because I tried their way and that didn't work for me. I'm not saying it's no judgment on it. It just wasn't for me. And so, what do I have to lose by trusting myself? I trusted their process and it just wasn't sustainable for me. So, what do I have to lose? If nothing else, I'll get another experience to learn from. But the reality is, this is it. This is it. This is what I've dreamed up for years. Like, I just didn't have all the details I have now. Like, I often say this. I've always known my purpose. It may have looked different, it may have expressed different over the years, but I've always known my purpose. I've always acted in my purpose, even when it was expressed differently. But if you look back years from now, like back in 2017, back in 2018, and see what I used to post on my initial Charlie's Truth Instagram page, you'll see it's literally no different from what I talk about now. It's except I've just evolved in my understanding and my knowing. And I'm just so excited for myself. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so happy that I get to share this with all of you, that I get to tell you about this, that I get to just put myself out there. Like, listen, I don't have all the answers, but I'm always willing to try. And I think that there is beauty in that. There's excitement in that. There is possibility in that. And like, so much can happen by just having an open heart. and being willing to try, being willing to experiment. And so I am so excited. Not only am I experimenting, but I'm experimenting out loud. Okay? So babes, friends, family, that is what's going on. The membership is happening. Once it is up, I will tell you all more about it, or as we get closer, because we're already on the 18th of June. And so, yes. So I don't even have today. I went to court, and so once I knew I had to go to court today, I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna plan anything else besides the audio blog, and I'm gonna go outside and just have a good day. But tomorrow is back in business, and part of that is like deciding what else do I need to do for the membership pages, and like what can I start scheduling so I can get it done. And then from there is like I also have this offering I'm doing for the projectors, and the copy and everything is ready, but I need to record the audio portions for this offering. And so it's just so many things are happening, but yet it's perfect. You know, I'm excited. I know it's going to work out. I'm listening to myself. I'm trusting the guidance I'm receiving for myself. I'm understanding my root center more, which means I'm understanding how to deal with pressure. I'm understanding how to turn on my root center motor so I can be able to take action. You know, I can utilize whatever energy to us projectors have access to the best of my ability. And listen, y'all, it's gonna be beautiful. I'm so freaking stoked. And now y'all know the story behind it, which is really like a call from within myself that, babe, we need our own corner of the web. We need our cave. And that's where you'll thrive. And that's where the business will be. That's where the community will be. That's where the village will be. And like, I'm just getting visions in my mind's eye right now. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is going to be such a beautiful, beautiful space. And I'm so grateful for everyone who is preparing to enter it. And so I send that prayer out to everyone who will end up inside of the membership. I love you. I'm so excited for you. And you may be praying for this. Thank you for pouring your energy towards this with me. Let's manifest this together. And so to all the teachers and the guys that I'm going to work with inside the cave, like I give thanks for that. And we're going to make some things happen, and it's going to be beautiful. And we definitely are going to help to be a love-filled impact on the world. So with that being said, I'm going to head on out of here. I'm going to get this put together so I can have it uploaded for tomorrow's release. I'm sending y'all a big, big hug, giving thanks. I'm so happy that an idea came to me of what to say. And I hope you enjoyed this episode, y'all. Deep, deep, deep gratitude. And I pray that you are well. And I will speak to you all soon. For everyone who may be experiencing a heat wave, don't forget to hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Stay cool. Take care of yourselves. Nourish yourself with things that help you feel light and that is correct for you. That is fueling your body. I'm no doctor, y'all. I'm just sharing my own experience. But with that being said, I'm gonna head on out. I love you so, 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 so much. And I'm so grateful to be here, to be in this space. And thank y'all for letting me share and being willing to listen. So, virtual hug. And we out of here. You were listening to Charlie's Truth audio blog. This is entry 10.